Breaking news now on Fox News Channel. The Nigerian man known as the Underwear Bomber, the man who tried to blow up a passenger jet with a bomb in his underwear more than 2 years ago, will spend the rest of his life in prison. That is the decision that just came down from a judge at the sentencing for Omar Farouk Abdulmutallab. You'll recall that he tried to blow up that Northwest Airlines flight over Detroit back on Christmas Day of 2009. He failed. Nobody got hurt at all, except for him. But he pleaded guilty last October, just 2 days into his trial, and in a defiant speech that same day, he told the court he was carrying a blessed weapon to avenge innocent Muslims. Today in court, some of the people on that flight spoke out. One passenger said, "Today is your turn, and justice will be served." Mike Tobin outside the federal courthouse in Detroit, where this all just went down. No surprises with this life sentence.
No, that life sentence without parole was pretty much a foregone conclusion going into the trial. And then you heard Judge Nancy Edmonds saying that attempted Christmas Day bombing of 2009 was an act of terrorism that cannot be quibbled with. Now, Omar Farouk Abdulmutallab didn't help his own case when he addressed the court once again. And he said that Mujahideen are proud to kill in God's name, and went on to say that they will continue doing so until all of the Jews are driven out of Palestine. And seeming to understand what the sentence would be, he said that today is a day of victory, and God is great. Shepard?
A few more passengers spoke today. Mike, what did they say?
It was interesting. They kind of hit a bunch of different points, but one of them told Omar Farouk Abdulmutallab that he is not a brave mujahid or holy warrior. He's nothing but a patsy. Another encouraged him to pray to Allah for forgiveness.
Ask for forgiveness from Allah, not from me. I already forgiven him.
Now, the appointed legal counsel, legal advisor to Omar Farouk Abdulmutallab, attempted to argue for leniency pretty much on the grounds of incompetence, arguing that Omar Farouk Abdulmutallab didn't succeed in hurting anyone but himself. But as you know now with this sentence, that didn't get him anywhere, Shep.
Mike Tobin in Detroit. Mike, thanks. Let's turn to our senior judicial analyst, Judge Andrew Napolitano. Had he killed somebody, the sentence would have been less.
Well, in a different environment, yes. I mean, look at Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber, who killed 6 people. His sentence was the exact same as the underwear bomber. And the federal law and the Constitution and the Supreme Court interpreting both says that sentences should be proportional. So this is obviously not proportional to others who did similar things, and it's not proportional to the harm caused, because there was no harm caused in this case. Having stated that, the judge really has very little discretion. The statute says you are convicted or you plead guilty of this, you get life in prison without parole. So she would have to have invalidated that, sentenced him as she thought he should have been sentenced. That would have been appealed to the appellate court, and then they would have dealt with it. And, not all judges want to invalidate the sentencing statute in the case of one person. But it is clear that the sentence was so severe in this case. The jail has already said it'll be solitary confinement. This is a jail that is 250 feet below the desert in Colorado. He will never see the light of day. He will not have any human contact except if he has medical needs. That's what he's looking forward to or will experience for the rest of his life. That severity is not matched by what he did.
He'll be in a box with no windows until the day he dies.
Yes.
Part of this would be to say to others who might want to blow airliners out of the air,
this is what you can expect. Correct. Now, had this succeeded...
Well, if he had succeeded, he'd probably be dead.
Correct. Had he killed others and not himself, then he would be facing the death penalty. But the federal government has not executed anybody in the United States of America from and after 9/11 on account of any terrorist activity. Almost all these people have gotten 20-year sentences or life without a parole, which is what this guy got.
Does he get appealed? Does he get anything like that?
He could appeal the sentence, yes. He could appeal it on the basis that I've told you, that it's not proportional, that it violates a couple of Supreme Court opinions and some other federal statutes.
We won't have to hear from him again, will we?
No, we won't have to hear from him, and he won't get to give one of these speeches at the appeal either.
Well, that's good. I've heard about enough.
Yes.
Judge Napolitano, it's nice to see you. Thank you.
Good to be with you, Shep.